And a very good evening. Welcome to this live stream. Welcome Max. Welcome Major Geeks. Welcome Lone Wanderer. Welcome everyone else. Welcome to your first live stream, Humble Hops. Oh no, Humble Hops. I put a B there, while there wasn't. I was on the road all day Sunday. Did he end up solving that puzzle he started last Wednesday? Yes, but not without a little hint from the creator. Although, to be honest, it kind of involved sort of a bug that I didn't know about, so you couldn't reasonably expect me or anyone else to solve it. But eventually it worked, and I did figure out most of it myself. Humble, I get that a lot. Do you stay humble under it? Yeah, Max is still starving. He always eats dinner at like 1 AM. Most people eat it at 6 PM, but Max is like, no, I need to be late. Even later than the Spaniards. So he'll do that like 1 AM or 2 AM. Nah, 8 AM usually, but it is a bit late for the Netherlands. Anyway. Been working with loopy landscape scenarios a lot today. And we're gonna do Icicle worlds. It should be possible without that specific knowledge. Should be? Like, have you done it? Or do you think it's possible? Alright, this is Icicle world. And the funny thing is, we can do whatever the hell we want. All we need is 2,500 guests. I mean, and a park rating of 700. But you know what we do with that? Entertainer, 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 entertainer. Hang on. I need to enable some viewer rewards. Let's see. Name the park, that's all. Drown a guest, of course. Pick a coaster type. Fire all the staff. There we go. Can we drown guests? That one, yeah, that's enabled. Drown a panda entertainer. Well, we have plenty, so yeah, if you see me move the wrong way, the screen, that's because I've been playing a lot of Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 for the past few days. And also RST2 Vanilla, so I might make a few mistakes here and there. Alright. Time for music. 4-station Giga Coaster that has high stats and to do the same. Yeah, the 20 is a good one. And then going to 10. You know, I had that kind of in my mind, but at some point, but I kind of discounted it. Thought it wouldn't work. Not exactly sure why. Will this be cursed? I wasn't planning on making it cursed. Honestly, I wasn't planning on doing much other than just build a park. My mind is a bit numb on this game at the moment. Been doing nothing but Roller Coaster Tycoon for the past 3 days. Been working on a massive video. The script is about 4.5 pages long currently, so that's I think about 16-17 minutes. I'm not nearly done. It's gonna be a massive video. There won't be a video tomorrow. Not even close. I might finish the script tomorrow. This... But I think it's worth it. It'll probably be at least half an hour long. No video this week or late video this week. You know, I'm kind of thinking of abandoning the schedule entirely. Because I've been, you know, I've been having issues with the pressure of it. Having to release a video every week. Because sometimes I want to make videos that take longer to make. Like this one. But then I end up not going for them. Because I know I gotta release a video. And then I end up on, you know, in the weekend be like, okay, I kind of want to work on this bigger video, but I don't think I'll finish it in time. And then I end up not working on any video at all because I'm kind of stressed about the video I need to finish on time. But then I have even less time. Stuff like that. So at some point I was like, screw it, I want to make that video. And I'll see what happens. The earliest it will be completed on Saturday, I think, but I wouldn't count on it. Currently, we have a ratio of about one entertainer per 2 guests. Imagine that in a real theme park. Like 10,000 guests and 5,000 entertainers. I hope you're all having a good week so far. Anything particularly interesting happened to anyone? Wait a minute, it's not making that. I can't exactly put a chain lift there either. I got compliments at work today. Well, that's nice. Compliments about what? I mean, yeah, something to do with work, I guess, but anything more specific? Okay, will it make it with a faster chain lift? The barista at the coffee shop complimented my nails. They're sparkly blue. Oh, very nice. I like some good painted nails. Although I've never had my own painted. Okay, this is just too high. It's not gonna work. I was thinking, speaking of, you know, getting things painted, I was thinking of getting my hair dyed a little bit. Like my sister-in-law has little blue highlights. Well, they were purple at some point. And I quite like those. So, you know, maybe something like that. Going grey. No, not at all. My hair is as vibrantly brown and luscious as it could be. My DNA gel looked very beautiful again, which makes the analysis of mutations easier. That's some microbiology thing that I don't know much about because I didn't do well at biology in school. But I do know what DNA is. I don't really know what DNA gel is, though. Well, that's nice. And good luck with your motorcycle lessons, Duvel. All I have to say is, be careful. Yeah, blue nails do look really nice. Alright. Oh. That's... You saw that? I can't operate the screen anymore. Nail painting stream. You know, I should actually have my stepsisters come in on stream and do my nails. You know, they did my hair a couple of times. It was like 10 years ago or so. They kind of liked experimenting a lot with that stuff. And I was their guinea pig a few times. I had still short hair at the time. But they still managed to do a whole lot of weird things with it. But that was quite enjoyable. I analyze mutations, DNA, thalassemia amongst others. Yeah, I have no idea what that means. You might as well have said a few Harry Potter spells that I'd never heard of and be like, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, that doesn't... We're kind of stuck here. Okay, I wanted this to... I mean, we can, if we do it like this. It's not the most pretty thing in the world, but... It works! Ah, look at that, we've escaped! We have escaped the wooden coaster. Okay, let's open it. Ah. Classic Wild West music. Ooh, now that's a big wooden coaster. Looks much bigger now that it's has a big nice contrast with the ice. What shall we call this? Anyone got some good name suggestions? The guests are more likely to go on the right if it's an end piece of path. I don't need them to go on the right though. I don't really need them to do anything. We have no money. Freek, your mom, Avalanche, Marcel's coaster. That's a quite a wide variety of names. Guy just got drowned. What do you mean? What do you mean, guy just got drowned? Hank. I like Hank. Again. Hang on. Hank 2. The successor to the one in the... To the one in Electric Fields. I need to color the trains. Hang on, let's do different colors per train. One green. And one orange. Nah, one yellow. Nah. What's a good color here? Purple. I like purple here, but green doesn't fit well with that. How about pink? Yeah, pink and purple, that'll fit nice. Hank 2 is too intense for me. Well, if you pronounce it like it's written, it's not Hank 2, it's Hank I. Because it's 2 I's. Now, this thing's already broken down. We're not even 2 months in, mate. 60 entertainers. Is that enough? By the way, a lot of you guys probably will know that the queue line limit is 1,000 in Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. You can't have more than 1,000 in a queue line. I mean, we can now. It's open RST2. We can go up to 65,000. But in vanilla, not more than 1,000. However, in RCT1, it's only 255. Which is a lot less. Oh, look at this, by the way. We're getting a lot of Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 icons. More and more are imported. For example, the mini helicopters. Look at that incredibly bright sprite. And happy and cheerful. I mean, the mini helicopter from RC2 is great as well, but I love this one. It looks great. I like the corkscrew one as well. That's more relevant because it's also got different trains. I believe this is also an RCT1 version. The stand-up is definitely RCT1. The classic wooden coaster is the RCT1. This is RCT1. That's RCT1. That one is RCT2, although it might have just not been changed between the two. I'm not sure. I love mini heli. Can you make one? Sure. I never really do. And that's RCT1. I love that one. I think it's a lot better than the RCT2 version. In what park were they made? I mean, some of these come from like the Mega Park and stuff, but a lot of these are from unreleased test parks, presumably. Because, well, not a lot of parks existed yet. A lot of RCT2 icons come from RCT1 parks, but there's no RCT0 to take RCT1 icons in. Right? This is some Pokemon Snap photo analysis going on. I mean, sports, I have found the location of every single Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 icon. For example, the maze is from Blackpool Pleasure Beach. The merry-go-round is from Alton Towers. Not all of them, by the way, can be found somewhere. But lot can. The twist is from Blackpool Pleasure Beach again. This one is the pre-built Mutant Mouse. This is an RCT1 icon, but I still know where it's from. Namely from Mega World Park. Your corkscrew coaster. This one's from Alton Towers again. Alton Towers. Southern Sands, Alton Towers. Is it Alton Towers? I don't know this one. No, this is an RCT1 icon. I don't know where this one's from, but probably Alton Towers, because so many icons are from Alton Towers. Oh, and this is, I believe, Mega World Park? Looks like it. Or Mega Park, whatever it's called. But this one, for example, the mini helicopters, does not look like anything I've seen. In fact, I believe there isn't a single pre-built mini helicopters in the game. So it could, I guess, be one of these pre-builds. Well, that's not a pre-build, that's mine. The treetop chopper is from RCT2, I believe. Yeah, definitely, because you can't save anything with scenery in RCT1. So this is the only RCT1 pre-built, and it's not that one. Well, actually, it could be. See this bit? Where it goes like under there, and then it goes up. That kind of could be that. Could it be? It goes up immediately after it's been gone under it. Yeah, that kind of works. Does it? Yeah, like... No. No, I think there's... I think it needs to be... Like, go up like one tile back. For that to possibly... Well... Oh, it also goes in the wrong direction because it goes down here. No, it couldn't be this. That's the RCT1 icon. I know. I've done literally every single RCT2 icon already. Ground guest 69. Of course, you guys are predictable. Hey, they're already gone. We can't drown guest 69. Unless... Ha! We have a new guest 69. So let's build a mini alley. Recreate the profile pic. This is not really the park for that particular profile picture. If it was a winter one, maybe. But it isn't. Make the mini alley very exciting. I mean, with, you know, the drops and the length and the whatever that I'm currently giving it, I feel like I'm kind of already doing that. Space theming. Ooh. Maybe that has some nice space ladies. I'm still not used to the way that the screen moves. I still keep doing it the wrong way around. I just started playing Rukt. Is it, if you pronounce it like a word, RST, like a word, is it Rust or Rukt? Rukt 2. I just started playing RST2 last week and I've been watching a lot of your videos to learn how to play. Your videos are very fun to watch. Well, thank you. Yeah, if you want to learn how to play, like, properly, and by that I mean kind of normally instead of optimizing everything to hell, then I kind of recommend my Marcel Play series. Because I play, you know, somewhat optimized there, because that's just the way I play, but I also decorate and stuff like that, so it's not like I just built a billion launch tree falls and call it a day there, which I sometimes do in other videos where the point is to optimize. Alright, no minimum waiting time. 32 cars. Let's go, baby. Ooh, we go down at a massive 6 kilometers an hour. I just figured out how to build a roller coaster underground. I realize now that starting with RST1 would have been easier. Well, building a roller coaster underground in RST1 is kind of more difficult. Because you can't start underground, you have to start above ground, then start building underground, you know, build towards underground, and then delete the above ground bit. Oh, this goes up. Isometric view strikes again. That's not the classic Audi Q line. This Q line is not long at all. I guess maybe for a mini helicopter it's on the long side, but other than that, not particularly long. For a mini copter, it's a bit ridiculous. Well, it does have 32 cars, so, you know. We have a capacity of a lot of people. It's not even done testing yet. So many people are already going on it. It can't record G-forces, so everyone will go on it. No exceptions. Look at that. They all go on it. Once it got its stats calculated, there will probably be people who find it too boring. Okay, that one guy didn't go on it because he couldn't, as another guest was already going on it at the exact same time. Even the staff, well, they don't really go on it, but yeah, they do be entering that queue line though. Since no money, we could put some TV. Yeah, you know what? I mean, so far the entertainers will do fine keeping the guests in the queue line, but once we have more guests... I mean, I say once we have, you know, more... Oh, I meant like a bigger park, they'll be more spread out, but... This is OpenRCT2. There is no limit. We can hire 10,000 entertainers if we want to, and it will cost us no money. Like, hang on. Staff manager. Why do we have handyman? I mean, I guess to mop up puke. There we go, 480 entertainers. Try to be unhappy now, you bastards. It's not going to happen. You will be happy. You will smile. Wait, that's too high. No one can reach that. I'll build it on the other side then. Oh, I just realized. Hang on, what zoom level are we at? 2.75. I think the text box is slightly obscuring the date. Yeah, I should move that a little bit higher. There we go. You will be happy and you will like it. Exactly. I mean, to be honest, they will. If we inspect the park rating a little bit, every guest counts as happy. Okay, they already do once they've got over 50% happiness. But still, not a single one is not happy. The happiness is beaten into them. And yeah, some may be a little bit sick. Because they have no stomach. And they go on Hank. Hank makes them sick. They're still happy though. Still incredibly happy. Only some new guests that just joined the park might not be entirely happy. I saw in one video when you enable the money that there is an amount hidden. Is it possible to waste it or unlock the game? No. I mean, I can show you how much is hidden here. It's 0. But no, there's nothing to waste away. Money is just not enabled right now. Imagine being sick on a mini helicopter. I mean, he was already sick before. He went on the mini helicopter to prevent getting even sicker, I presume. I haven't looked into it too much, but I assume there is some kind of bit of code that be like, if the guests be sick, they don't be going on intense rides. You know, something like that. And that's just a guess, though. I can kind of imagine getting sick on this roller coaster. It's quite a big fancy one. Hang on, why is there no one in the queue line for that? Or almost no one. Are all of them... Hang on, we have 58 people in the queue line. 64 people on the right. That's nearly half of all the guests in the park. You can also see it here. Actions on mini helicopters 1, queuing for mini helicopters 1. That's just most people in the park. My El Riol Grande had 100 nausea and people would just queue up right again. Yeah. Because you had that little cheat enabled. Guests ignore intensities. Well, maybe not, because if they've already been on... Well, yeah, for them to go on it the first time. I mean, maybe they'll ignore it, the nausea rating, if they've already been on it, but... They have to go on it first to have been on it. Alright, let's build a looping coaster. Not intensity, but nausea. Same thing. I manually set it. Oh, that might mean that they're kind of... That it doesn't really track it anyway. That is like a different stat. I'm not sure. There's a lot of weird things when you manually set it. Everyone not on a ride or queue is an entertainer. Pretty much. Yeah, that's kind of the case. Because I don't really have enough rides yet to... Okay, this is kind of weird. Because this is OpenRCT2, we get the big steep to level pieces. But at the same time, because this is an RCT1 scenario, it does not give us the banked sloped turns. So we have some OpenRCT2 exclusive track pieces here, but we are missing some RCT2 vanilla exclusive track pieces. Which is a bit odd, if I say so myself. Guests do get sick if you manually set the nausea, but I don't think they acknowledge it at the entrance. Yeah, it might be something like that, I'm not exactly sure. Because those trains don't have banked sloped turn sprites. And that's fair. You know what, we should put some loopings in here. Oh, hello, Mr. Rollercoaster Train. How fast will you be going through these loopings? Dangerously fast? Or at a fairly normal speed? That is the question. We need to be even higher. That's a fairly normal speed. And that is a failed turn. Okay, this just looks all weird. I'm just gonna make a small turn. Ah, that looks a lot better. Double penetration. Yeah, we all love some good old double penetration. Souvenir stall. That means we can sell overpriced plushies. I wonder, do roller coaster plushies exist? Like that you just have like a plushie of a shuttle loop. Wouldn't that be amazing? You can probably get that made. This is a totally normal end of a roller coaster. Just going through a loop and then a small turn back to the station. Skip the boring bit. Okay, that's a good quote. Cows have best friends who says they can't have autism. I don't remember saying that, but I probably did. Otherwise it wouldn't be there. Alright, time to lengthen this bit of the path towards here. You know what we can do? That. The guests will all penetrate the loop. This coaster can attract a lot of guests. Well, I know exactly how many it can attract. 95! Because that's how many a looping coaster attracts. No more, no less. And there comes the mass of entertainers. The furry parade. Wouldn't it be wonderful to be among those, like this orange-shirted guest that is somewhere among the furries? And there he is, I think I saw him. Guest 27 must have the best time of his life. Has anyone in the chat ever been to a furry convention? Or something similar? I've been to Disneyland. Not quite the same. But I see why you would think so. Okay, let's just connect these two ends. I'm planning to go to one in October. Oh, very nice. Do you have your own suit as well? Or just watching? I have a friend who goes to a furry party monthly. Now that's a proper furry. Nothing of that once a year bullshit, just every month. I do not have a suit, but I am an artist and have my own sauna. Ah. I would like to be an artist. You know, I absolutely love it when people, you know, are good at drawing and watching them draw, especially in real time. Just watching people be creative, stuff like that. It's just fantastic. Oh yeah, the suits are expensive, I do know that. You know, I've seen those videos of people asking how much people's suits at conventions and stuff cost. And not all of them are furry, some are like, you know, like Halo suits or whatever. But some of them are, and yeah, they can be fairly cheap. Especially if you make it a lot of yourself, but they can be crazy expensive. Like, sometimes more than $1,000 bucks. I'm actually streaming art right now. I just needed some background noise. Not on Twitch. So you're streaming on YouTube then? Are you a furry? I am not. So far, 3 people say yes. Now, assuming that they're all speaking the truth, 4 people out of 11, assuming that no one is lying, that means that we have quite a lot of furries in the chat compared to the national average, which is not exactly surprising. Oh, on Discord, so it's not like a proper stream. So not like a stream on your account where you go live to people on YouTube or Twitch. So, I mean, it's still like a stream, but you know what I mean. Have fun and good luck, by the way, with that. Alright, I am drowning. Furry 306. Buddy of mine paid 4,800 for his a few years back. Damn. That is crazy expensive, though. Like, that's a lot for a hobby. He better be careful. That's more than twice the cost of my PC. Need a mod that turns entertainment names into being called furry. You don't need a mod, you just need to alter some words in a file. I already did that once for a stream. I also did it once in a video. If I remember correctly, it was the video about the densest park, where it just said, you know, it said hire new furry. And all that stuff. That was on the pricey side, but not absurd from what I was hearing. I mean, that goes with all those things, right? You can have them cheap, you can have them decently expensive, but then there's also the chance to just go off the rails expensive. You know, you can get a watch for 20 bucks. You can get a really good watch for 200 bucks. You can get a very expensive watch for like 2,000 bucks, but you can also get a $50,000 watch. My smartwatch was just under 200. Yeah, but I just mean normal watches here. Yeah, you can get all kind of gold plated and stuff like that. I don't have a smartwatch. I don't like wearing watches or really anything. I don't wear rings. I don't wear bracelets or watches or anything on my wrists. I don't wear earrings. I don't wear necklaces. I don't like wearing hats. I never really wear anything other than just normal clothes. I forget I'm wearing the watch most of the time. I'm so used to it. I mean, I don't need a watch. I mean, a smartwatch does more than tell the time, of course, but I don't know. I don't think I need a smartwatch either. I mean, to be honest, I'm home most of the time. I work at home, so I don't think I need it outside either. If I want to keep track of my steps or something, I have a phone. I like that I can get walking directions on it and not have to hold my phone out where it could be snatched by someone. Okay, but I live in an area where I don't have to worry about that. Also, a few weeks ago I had to take a 20-minute walk. I looked at what I had to walk for a few minutes ahead of time and then could do the entire thing without looking at the map once. I have glasses. I mean, if I had glasses, I'd probably just wear eye contacts. Took me a while to think of that word. We call them lenses in the Netherlands, in Dutch. Yeah, contact lenses. For some reason the word lenses doesn't feel like an English word to me at the moment. Even though I know it is. Okay, baby, you know what time it is. Okay, first of all I need to lower that. It's particularly helpful in new places. I used the walking directions a lot on my trip, which was all places I'd never been to as an adult. Fair enough. I'm just not a big gadget guy. I've got a phone. You know, a very basic phone, Samsung Galaxy A54. And I don't really use it very much. I've got a strong computer, of course. I need it for work. But other than that, I don't really have any gadgets. I guess a Nintendo DS. I have a Nintendo DS. If you want to call that a gadget. I have a Game Boy Advanced. My phone is like 5 years old. Mine is brand new, but that's because I just replaced my 4-year-old one. The most important things on a phone for me are being able to take decent pictures. But most importantly, have a long battery life. Funny thing is, my mom and I have been having the same phone for ever since we got a smartphone. Her first smartphone was a Samsung Galaxy S3 Mini. I got a smartphone a little bit later and I was like, you know what, I'll take the same one because you like yours. Then we both upgraded to this S6, then to the S9. Never at the exact same time, you know, a few months in between, but we both upgraded to the same phone. And then at the exact same time we did upgrade to the A54. And it's been the best thing ever. Because we both had kind of issues with battery life being short. Mine also had problems charging, which is kind of a big issue. And the funny thing is, I keep getting messages from my mom being like, oh my god, this battery is amazing, how does it last so long? She's in Spain right now, but on the way there in France, she took a walk and she uses some kind of app, you know, to see where she has to go. And she messaged me, like, we went on this big walk, and at the end, the phone had used 25% of the battery. The old one would have been empty. That's ridiculous, but my experience is the same. I use like 25% a day. Granted, I don't use it very much. Well, I mean, I use it for like at least an hour and a half every day in bed before and after I go to sleep. Well, before I go to sleep, after I wake up. It's absolutely ridiculous. You charge your phone twice a day. I charge mine once every 2 days. And usually I'll have like 25%, like 30% left when I charge it. And I only charge to 85. I'll limit my charging to 85. That's an option in there to preserve the battery, because your battery degrades a little bit faster if you charge to 100% every time. It's not like it'll degrade very fast if you do that, but a little bit faster. Which is, of course, never nice. And if I go places, go on holiday and stuff, then I will use the max charge. But if I don't need to, then why would I? I remember when I bought my first car. Literally 3 days later, my mother bought the same model and claimed she wasn't copying me. Oh, that's cute. That's admitting you got good taste. Have you ever used the day-night light cycle in this game? Yes, and I didn't like it. Let's turn it on. There we... Oh, yeah, no. I don't like this at all. I guess I can use lamps now. Wait, they don't provide light? I thought they would provide light. Or is that like an option thing I need to enable? Oh, requires hardware engine. Why is it so tiny? Hang on. Holy lag. It also still doesn't provide any light. Oh, now it does. Sorry I asked. What do you mean sorry you asked? There's no sorry to be said here. I can turn it, if it's bad I can just turn it off. This lag though, we have like... We have like 500 staff and 600 guests. We have like maybe 1300 entities. That's not very much. I just started learning a little bit about assembly in college today. Really? Why? Are you actually gonna do stuff in assembly, or is it just to learn about the history of coding? Okay, you know what? This is enough. Ding, ding, ding. And back to open goal. Let's call it this thing. As black as the blackest sky. Nah, orange is better. Orange, you glad I didn't make it yellow? Often in university courses you had to make some basic stuff in assembly. I didn't when I studied AI. I had a couple of coding courses, but nothing in assembly. Microprocessor digital system design class. Do they mention Roller Coaster Tycoon 2? Because every time assembly is mentioned on Reddit, people be like, Chris Sawyer, Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, this man is a magician, yada yada yada. I mean, it's not that impressive. I mean, it's impressive, don't get me wrong, but people on Reddit act like Chris Sawyer was the only one who ever made a game in assembly. But at the time, I believe that was fairly standard. I mean, it's still a massive undertaking. Yeah, a lot of respect for that he did it and stuff, but it's not that special compared to everyone else. It's not like he did the thing that no one's ever done before. Not to mention, quite refreshing. Yeah, I can imagine. RST is quite possibly the biggest game ever made in assembly, as far as I know, is it? Yeah, at the time Chris was making it, the switch to higher languages was happening. I know about that. Built an uncovered steep to gentle piece. I already did. It's right here. This is a steep to gentle piece. That one. Or is that not what you meant? I'm going uphill. I mean, I could build one. The thing is, it's impossible to make it with that. It just is. Because it either goes too slow that if it goes fast enough for it to make it fairly up the hill, it goes too fast for that piece and it crashes. That's kind of how it works. When the climbing part changes into the flat curve, I imagine everybody bumping their head. What, you mean here? That looks fairly normal to me. Oh, you mean here? No, yeah. That's kind of the point. I hoped you forgot that. I mean, I'm the one who figured it out, so... I mean, I don't know if I'm the one to figure it out, but I did figure it out on my own, that's what I mean. So I know that pretty well. I mean, probably a bunch of other people who discovered it independently as well. It's not exactly a hard thing to discover. Alright, one of the biggest water slides you've ever seen. Pretty sure someone noticed it before you. Yeah, definitely did. That's why I corrected myself to saying I discovered it independently instead of just saying I'm the one who discovered it. I am the one who discovered a bunch of things, but most likely not that one. Yeah, we can go around there. There we go. Now that's a proper queue line. That's a CCQL. Ooh, we just unlocked the Heartline, baby. That's not a nice color combination. That is kind of nice. Ooh, that's dark though. Ugh. Ooh, that's painful on the eyes. This is rather nice on the eyes. Eh. Nah. This is not too bad. This is terrible. This almost looks like the same color. This is rather nice. What's the best type of pancake? Speck. Or in English, bacon. What shall we name this looping coaster, by the way? I agree, of course you agree. It's the best. Today I did a new type. Ooh, what kind? Gritty? Is that your vote for the best kind of pancake or the name for this? Frozen frog. I kind of like that. I made raspberry sauce and put that on it. That's not the type of pancake though, unless you baked it into it. I mean, it can still be lovely. You know, putting it on a standard pancake. But that doesn't count as a raspberry pancake in my opinion. But that's just semantics, of course. Park with the best stuff. No shit. Surprisingly, we only have 6 mechanics. Only 20 handymen. Anything with bacon is the best variation of sad thing. Is it? Is it? Bacon ice cream? Is that the best kind of ice cream? I think I want bacon beer. Yeah, same. A guest with an apple. I don't even know what those apples look like. They haven't sold very many. Anyone think about it? No. Anyone think about this one? I once sold a few more. Ooh, hang on. Does that guy have an apple? Wait, I lost him. Oh, that's an apple. Look at that. Hang on. That guy definitely has an apple. I've never seen that. I mean, I've definitely seen it on my screen, but I've never, like, looked at it like this. That's cute. It's, like, pretty much every food has its own animation, and he finished it. Alright, goodbye. Alright, have fun doing stuff, Max. Would drowning be better with bacon? You know what is better with bacon? A burger. Every burger I've ever had is improved by bacon. He had a family. No, he didn't. He killed his family yesterday. Drowning in bacon. Ooh, how about drowning in bacon Greece? Is that better than drowning in bacon Albania? I want to go back to Greece already. Well, there's probably somewhere where you can buy the movie. Musical, whatever it was. I've never watched it. That's better. Spooky theming. That means we can put some bold trees. Or bold, I mean... What do you call them? Dead. That's the word. Bald, dead. Almost the same thing. Your hair follicles are dead when you're bald, so... You know. And open. What a lovely hardline, isn't it? It'll probably have like 9 intensity because every hardline ever has 9 intensity. We have 2 inversions, which is not that many for a hardline. So it might be like low 9s, maybe high 8s. Yeah, we do have, you know, quite a few drops and Gs and stuff, so probably low 9s. Wait, 7.47. Well, that's a surprise. I never expected it to be that low. The excitement is high compared to the intensity, but that's because OpenRCT2 buffed it by like 2 points, something like that. So in vanilla it would be like 3.2, which is much better for the hardline. But only 7.47 intensity. I expected it to be more. I guess I did kind of build a reasonable one for once. The vomit machine. Only 5.11 nausea. It's not that high. But I guess guests will vomit a lot from this. The Hardline Twister is garbage. Yes, it is. Alright, let's have a little drink. Maybe so low due to the low speed in the second inversion. Maybe it has some effect on it. It does have low laterals at only 1.28 and also low other G-forces. And a maximum speed of 69 kilometers per hour, which is just perfect. It's very, very nice. By the way, I met Aura Specs recently, and he's the guy that made a few styles, like Acid Style. It's not my style of music, but it's well made. Make the music louder. I mean, then my voice will not be heard very well. Fire all the staff. Well, it's gonna take a lot of clicking. 479 entertainers. Or one button. Someone on my Discord server dared to call my voice monotone. I'm like, mate, what? And I said, maybe 5 years ago. And then he was like, well, I kind of, most recent video of yours I watched was 5 years ago, roughly, so I have no idea if he's trolling or not. Probably he's kind of trolling, but still. Five years ago I was kind of monotone. But hey, that's just me being shit at speaking to a camera. So many people in the queue for this dinghy slide. 180 people. Queue time only 13 minutes. That's not a lot. I guess that has a good customers per hour. I mean, good. 1,000. It's good for a dinghy slide, I guess. You can add MIDI music to this, like replace the RST music with video game MIDI music. Yeah, you can add your own custom stuff. Do I still have like a custom track? No, I removed it for some reason. I don't know. Or I just never copied it over from my old computer, I guess. What is this guest per hour thing? That 800, that's not bad for a mini alley. The spinning speed of the cabin of the observation tower in the coloring windows is quite rapid. I mean, the spinning speed of this thing is quite rapid too. It's not nearly as fast, but still. This thing is... Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Roughly 12 seconds for a full rotation. That is really quickly. That is really quite quickly. I mean, this thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 seconds. That's insane. 12 seconds is also absolutely insane though. You would not be standing there. I mean, yeah, if it's slower, it needs more sprites. I know why it happens, but it's still entirely not realistic. No one's standing up in here. You face plant onto the glass. Well, that kind of does mean that you see the outside world quite well. Just your face pressed up against the glass at all times. There's no proof of guests standing in it. That's kind of what you do in an observation tower, no? They could, I guess, just have kind of a rotodrop style seating where you're all facing outwards, bound in a seat. Basically, an indoor roto drop that doesn't go down as fast. With a little bit of cheating, you can launch an observation tower or put it in roto drop mode. And funnily enough, no guests die when you do that, so yeah, I guess they have some kind of way to survive that. So maybe there's more to my theory than you might think at first glance. I went to the fair many times here in Alabama and they got a ride called the Starship 4000. I've been on, and guess what, you get pinned against the wall. I have no idea what the Starship 4000 is, so I can't have kind of imagine what it is because I just have no idea. It's the Starship that comes after 3999. Yeah, the only thing I can think of right now is that one video game where people buy super expensive ships and try to have them appreciate in value and then sell them again for more money. Like some people spend literally thousands of bucks on spaceships, but it all appears to kind of be a scam or maybe not or something like that. I forgot what it's called. Ground guest 840. They're probably still in the park. Yeah, there you go. Flying Saucers 1 was great. Is Water 1 also great? Star Citizen. I think it was something like that. I like how Hyde the Park rebuilt an observation tower to become a roto drop, although it was weird riding the same thing before and after. Oh, I can imagine that. Freezing Water 1 has to be the chillest ride in existence. The one I rode at the fair is called the Gravitron. I think I've heard of that. Still don't really know what it is, but I've heard of it. Something to do with gravity. What do you mean dinghy slides in the way, you dingus? Ech. I'll just... Ech. I'll just go under it. This ride has a shockingly low support limit. That beam in the middle of the slide has gotta hurt. Well, they kind of go past it. Yeah, they go past it. Just swings the right way. Okay, this thing will have an absolutely terrible through boot. But I don't care, it's a great car ride. 32, I think we can do better. 38. We'll give it rock style 4. Just more like metal style. Be careful with the water slide because nothing can get stuck if it breaks down. Doesn't really matter if that happens though. You know, maybe I should hire new staff. How long has it been ago? 10 minutes. Park rating is still mostly fine. But at some point it will be not fine anymore. Staff is unnecessary. I mean, a roller coaster tycoon but no staff is an interesting challenge for him to think about. Park rating is going down though, so perhaps we should hire new folks. That should be plenty. When did Rockstyle 4 get added? While ago? I don't know. Not a difficult challenge with a maze trap. Fair enough, although for that challenge you might disallow a maze trap. Just so that it remains interesting. You know, it's like when I completed Fungus Woods without removing any trees. Yeah, I could have just built a maze trap, but come on, that's boring. That doesn't make for a nice video. I'm really kind of disappointed with how fast we're researching rides. Is research set to slow? No, it's set to fast. We do research one thing a month, but apparently, yeah, 3 of the thing, 4 scenery themes. I don't care about your goddamn scenery themes. I want rides. I want thrill rides. Do guests complain about overcrowding when there are more entertainers than guests? No, staff don't count. Also, entertainers counteract any unhappiness from overcrowding and such. Look at how fast this went back up. The puke gone, the guests happy. You know, it's kind of interesting how the snowman shows its icy balls to everyone when they juggle. Someone asked earlier, do they have a butt crack? Yes, they do. Or butt cheeks. The snowmen have very pronounced butt cheeks when they're showing their balls. That's right, 320 furries. You mean 1280? Turn off the other options. Wait, you can do that? I thought you couldn't in No Money Rides. Hang on, is that an open thing, or can you do that in vanilla as well? I didn't know that. Oh, the side friction. I like a side friction. I believe in vanilla too. Well, you learn something new every day. Not in vanilla. Well, looks like I was right after all. I don't know which one of you is speaking the truth. Sometimes people are super confident about something that's just wrong. It's not vanilla, but an open RCT thing. I mean, it does make sense, because I remember being sad that I couldn't choose what to research in, like, extreme heights. I don't know how recent it is in OpenRCT2. This seems like a thing they would have added years ago. So I might still be very behind on the times, if that's indeed true. Is this a real scenario? Well, what do you mean with real? Are you real? Am I real? Is life real? Do I exist? Do you exist? I redeemed the launch coaster earlier. Did you now? Did I miss that? I did. Well, let's build it after this one. My apologies. I think they mean if it's official content. Duh. And yes, it is. It's an RCT1 expansion scenario. I did play some proper RCT1 today. Yesterday I completed Southern Sand in RCT1. Today I did Iceberg Islands. And sort of what's it called? Grand Glacier. You zoom out, does it have the same hills as most RCT scenarios? I mean, this is already a very classic thing, right? This jutting out. I don't know if this is the exact same. There's more than one type of scenario. Not everything is constantly reused, but I feel like you see this hill. Yeah, I mean, this hill here is same as this hill here, but 90 degrees rotated. Yeah, here it is again. Another one here. Yeah, this is the same thing, but then it goes into a bigger hill. Let's see, is there another one? Yeah, here again, kind of. This sort of as well. Do you play RCT in your free time? No. I have not played Roller Coaster Tycoon in my free time for years. That's why I started streaming. To force myself to start playing it again. Normally. Because what I did for videos was kind of just, you know, optimized runs and that kind of stuff. And, you know, for something like a ride overview, it wouldn't even be a run. It would just have the game open, you know, build whatever I needed the shot for. Build a shot, record that shot, and then move on to the next shot. You know? I got kind of burned out. in 2020. Probably because I wasn't playing the game anymore. So I started streaming. And that kind of rekindled my love for it. Funny thing from the side friction coaster, if you do a small hill after the first drop, the coaster will just fly off the rails. That all depends on the speed that it's going after your first drop. If your first drop is small, like mine, then it will not fly off the rails. It needs to go at least 50 kilometers per hour to do that. Unless you go steep, then you can go a lot slower and it'll still crash. I mean, I'm pretty sure, Icicle, that the developers, you know, Chris Sawyer and stuff, had some kind of scenario editor in RST1. When I was a kid, my parents would come into my room and ask if I was building a puke park again. Well, let me guess what you did as a kid. I kind of mostly built just normal, beautiful parks as a kid. Well, beautiful parks, and I tried to make them beautiful. Not that they necessarily were. And I always said to my mom, would you come to my park? And she always would say yes. I would show her around and stuff. Kind of what I did in that video I uploaded where I played Zoo Tycoon. I was showing her around my park there as well. Well, park, zoo. And she always pretended to be interested. And maybe sometimes she actually was a little bit interested as well. Yeah, that's good mom. That's good mom behavior. Did you show her a Death Maze park too? She definitely watched some kind of video of mine on the Death Maze. She watches at least a little bit of every video I upload. So yeah, she knows I like to kill people. I don't exactly keep that hobby of mine a secret. Thank you for the follow, Ellie Bud. Mama just drowned a man, picked him up with pincers. And I kinda wanted to improvise, but I'm not that good. I know the tune, but I just can't improvise quick enough. Did you really build exciting rides, Cat and Heinz? Or did you build what you thought were exciting rides, but did they in reality have 15 intensity? Because that's what seems to happen to most people as a kid. Near-death experiences are exciting, I guess. Depends on who you ask it to, but some people would find that exciting. I still find it kind of hilarious when someone makes a post asking like, what's wrong with my roller coaster? Why will no one go on it? And then it says in big red text, 15 intensity and 4 lateral G's. And then it'll show like a 30-meter drop going into a tiny unbanked turn. And I'm like, really? You don't see it? You don't see the big obvious red flag? Literally red. On one hand, I'm like, are you stupid? On the other hand, it also makes me think of some things that are super obvious that I didn't get. And then I'm like, we all got our things. We're all stupid sometimes. Make a drowning version of Bohemian Rhapsody for a video. Sounds like a lot of effort. Worst food in the country. Damn right. That's what we strive for. Can't have people have good food. I only want the worst food in the country. If you want good feed, you can go to our competitor's park. Oh shit, I forgot to build the launched coaster. I'll build it after this, I promise. First, let's quickly see what stats we get here. Should be on the high side, but not over 10. Let's over 10. Real hard geezers. We'll still go on it. Alright, launched coaster time, baby. Woo! Yeah, that one. Alright. Power launch. 96 kilometers an hour. Whee! I think it crashed. We need to make it not past the station. Kaboom, Rico? Yes, Rico, kaboom. I messed that quote up. Kaboom? Yes, Rico, kaboom. That's the way it goes. Hey, no one died here, Jake. That's why we test the ride. To see if it's safe. If it's not safe, we'll open it anyway. Hey, thank you for the bits. Rainwar. Love your videos and enjoying this stream. Oh, very happy you are. 8 positive vertical, jeez. you think that's dangerous? Do you think that will kill people? 8 vertical Gs. People will love it. Yeah. Well, not right now because it's raining. Other than that, they'll absolutely love it. Look at this. I'm not going to stop the rain while it's raining. Because that makes sense. Oh, hang on. I'm not going on to stop. I'm stupid. It doesn't work. I'll just change it to this. A classic. An absolute classic. You know what else is too intense? For you, my mom. You know, that can kind of work, because some people are just really intense people, you know, just the way they kind of go about stuff. And that can absolutely be like, yeah, I don't like that person because they're too intense. I mean, that's not what you mean. You mean in terms of sex, because that's funny. Why did it become your mum jokes and never your dad? I mean, my theory is that it's mostly boys making that joke and they be like, I'm not gay, so I'm only doing people's mums, not people's dads. That's probably what it is. I mean, they are kind of your dad jokes, but then they're like, your dad's absent. I don't think necessarily misogynic. I think it's just that it's boys making the jokes, so they be doing women. Or they say they be doing women. What's up? My cat says hello as well. I don't believe you until your cat actually types something. Get him up there or her, take the little paws, mash them on the keyboard, or just have him walk over the keyboard. And just see what comes out of it. Okay, what thrill rides did we get? Ooh, a motion simulator and swinging inverted ship. She's asleep on my lap right now. I think you meant lap. Then just take your keyboard, press it against the cat. That counts as well. Yo, hit me the cat. The cat's actually typing. Cats are the best animals though. You know, dogs are lovely, but that doesn't beat cats. And if you're a dog person, you know, that's really fine. Dogs are lovely. But cats are just great. There's nothing better than a cat. In terms of pets. And our family cat, Pookie, is the best cat that has ever catted. Seriously though, Pookie is a lovely cat. And we all love him. He's kind of become a family mascot. Hello, Felipe 2. Does staff count for people complaining it's too crowded? Nope. Do we have any people complaining it's too crowded? No, really. I mean, there are not that many people in the park anyway, so makes sense. So we need 2,500 guests. We're only at 1,400. To finish this stream in a reasonable time, I will build a few small coasters. Lol. I need to launch it a bit faster. That works, that should give it decent stats. Yep. Do guests have any thoughts about staff presence? No, actually. I remember them liking the elephants. Maybe in Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, who knows, but not in RCT 2, and I'm pretty sure also not in RCT 1. Will you ever play RCT 3? What do you mean, will you ever play? I've already done that a bunch. Even on stream. And I did it a lot as a kid as well. Great game. Might make a video on it someday as well. I wonder what our soft guest cap is. 1990. I have just built a bunch of good rides that attract a lot of guests. So that makes sense that it's a bit higher than it was before. Atari did buy the rights from RCT3 if I'm not mistaken. Yes, they did for 7 million, I think. Took me a while, and I mean I had to be an adult to find out that making pathways more than one line helps guests spread out. No, it doesn't. I mean maybe in open, but not in vanilla. Wide paths do not really work in RCT 1 and 2. In 3 I have no idea. They might work very well in 3, who knows. I don't. But I do know a lot about RST 1 and 2. It's kind of my thing. Do 2 parallel single lines help? Yes. Yeah, if you divide them with a fence so that they can't connect, or if they're on a hill where they won't connect anyway, then yes, it will help. You know, if I do that and that and that. Yeah, leave a few connections open. Then do it like that. That absolutely works. Not really useful right now because there are not many guests here, but you have a lot of guests. You get the most efficient pathing by having 7 paths all perpendicular to each other. All the paths are colored green, but some are also colored red. Is that a reference to something that I don't get? Yes, it is. I thought it would be, because otherwise you would be making up really weird stuff on the spot. Which is not a problem, but just something that you don't see too often. Seven circles of hell. Who knows? Do we have anything more exciting than boats? I like water trikes. Also, I do wonder, can they? What's a good scenery item to put there? Hehe. Blocked by Mr. Boner. Wonder if they can go past that. If they dare. The ride never starts. Oh, it actually does. The ride never starts is actually that's kind of what happens with the video I'm currently working on. Enterprise, baby. The video I'm currently working on might become my longest ever. If you don't count the live streams. Thank you for the follow, Captain Hines. It's from a comedy skit where customers and salesperson, the customer, are talking to an engineer about the customer's wish. The engineer tells them it's impossible, but they all insist he must be able to do it because he's the expert. It's about how people oftentimes do not listen to experts because they lack the knowledge to say that it's impossible. I get that. I mean, clever sketch. But, you know, it's not so much about people asking me to do challenges in the Roller Coaster Tycoon that are impossible, but it's more about people asking me to do challenges that are too easy, and people not understanding that. You know, when I tell them otherwise, they believe it. That's not the problem. But it's like, you know, one of my most frequently suggested challenges is, can you beat Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 with only hard lines? Or only mini suspended coasters? Because, you know, I rag on both those coaster types for being terrible. And I'm like, yeah, that's easy. They're both roller coasters. They're really good. I mean, apart from the build 10 coaster types parks, of course, you can't do that with only 1 or 2 coaster types, but all the guest goals, the park value goals, the ride profit goals, they're easy. This is not exactly difficult. But people don't realize that. Because they don't know how it works. They don't know much about it. Which is fine. Can you beat Roller Coaster Tycoon with a dance mat instead of a mouse? If like the... You know, forwards and backwards and left and right were like, you know, moving the mouse, and then in the middle something would be pressing the left mouse button, then yeah, I could. Yeah, but the thing about Elden Ring is that you usually play it with a controller, right? Which means you have a limited set of inputs. That's not how Roller Coaster Tycoon works. There are like a million buttons. So you need some kind of way to interact with them all. I suppose one is time-based scenarios. How early you could beat them compared to how much time they give you. You mean like a challenge? That's just a speedrun, isn't it? Like I've done Amity Airfield, completed in September year 1. But that's just the Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 vanilla speedrun. Where I still hold the world record, one of the few I still have. I think it's 46 minutes. Somewhere on YouTube. I was just joking, it would just be pain, not hard. Yeah, that's the thing. You know, quite a few challenges that people suggest would not necessarily be hard, but just annoying. The challenge I'm currently working on is also just kind of annoying. Which is why I'm only proving that it's possible and not doing every scenario. In that way it's kind of similar to my video about can you beat Roller Coaster Tycoon with 0 bugs. I proved that you can, but I did not actually do it. I just was like, you know, this is how it's possible. But I'm not gonna beat 146 scenarios for this video. And that's what I'm doing right now too. I'm showing that it's possible, but I can't be asked to beat all the scenarios because that would take way too long. What about you can only make money with photos challenges? Yeah, that's another thing, because the RCT with 0 challenge was basically at the start of every scenario the money gets set to 0 and then see if you can beat it. You know, see if you can get out of debt. But once you're out of debt, it was all fine. I have kind of thought about doing a challenge where, you know, it's kind of beating Roller Coaster Tycoon, but you're not allowed to make money. Okay, that's kind of impossible for the right ticket ones. I guess you can kind of do you have to make the setup there before you charge anything, and once you start charging, you're not allowed to spend any more money. That, you know, that kind of still has the same spirit. Did ChattyBot ever contact you after you published that video? No. I don't think they saw it. Will it be possible to beat RST with no mechanics and or handyman? Yeah, you can just do the job for them. Of course, if you disallow that, like you can't replace path to get rid of puke, you can't rebuild the right to get, you know, to fix them, then it becomes more difficult. Definitely still possible, I'm sure. Now, the thing I'm currently working on is beating Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 and 2 without guests being allowed to ride any rides. Which is a very interesting challenge. It's a very strategic challenge. You have to come up with strategies to keep the guests in the park. There we go. Suddenly it's a lot more forested. Will the guests remember the solution to the maze? No. They don't really solve it. They just go a random direction every time they arrive at a junction. Could you take the first letter of each type of ride and only build one per letter of the alphabet? I'm pretty sure you can complete most scenarios with just one ride. Apart from maybe the ones where you need to make money. Yeah, you can still do that. You can make 20k with one. You can make 10k with one ride. I mean, the only ones that are not possible is the ones that require you to build 10 rides, of course, 10 coasters. So if you have 21 scenarios and the ride selection does allow you to have 21 different letters spread over the scenarios, then yeah, it should be possible. On May 11th, you're gonna write your first roller coaster with inversions. Good luck. I still remember my first roller coaster with inversions. That was Looping Star in Slagharen. We were there in group 5, which for the Americans is the age equivalent of grade 7. No, grade 3. And we were there with the class. Or was it group 6? I was group 6. One of the two, anyway. Now in group 5 we went to Burger Zoo in Arnhem. It was group 6. And I was kind of scared for it, but eventually my friends hyped me up enough and I went on it. It was lots of fun. Would RST2 Alcatraz maps be any different if it required money and rights requirements? I mean, it would be different, but not difficult, no. You know, depends on how you do the money requirement. If you make it some kind of insane money challenge, yeah, it would be difficult. But if it's any kind of, you know, you start with 10k and you have 20k loan available, as is typical for scenarios, then yeah, it would be different. That would be not difficult. I mean, that way at least I would not be ragging on it as I did in that one video, because it would technically have a failure state. AKA messing up your finances entirely. which it currently doesn't have. So I think it would be a better scenario for it. I've never been on an inverting coaster and I don't think I ever will. Give me a slow woody every day. Oh, I can give you a slow woody. To be honest, a big wood coaster is more intense than some inversion. You know, the thing is, inversions seem intense, but once you've been on one, they're not all that intense, especially just a straight looping. You know, something like this, like a Cobra or whatever the hell this is called. Yeah, that's kind of intense. But just a looping like this, taken at a reasonable speed, not this breakneck speed, you know, is very much not intense at all. There's an unintended innuendo. Well, yours was unintended. Mine was very much intentional, Sabrina. My first ever coaster was Pegasus on the Efteling. That was one of my first as well. I remember going to the Efteling when the Pegasus was still a thing. It was removed like 15 years ago, something like that. But I have a distinct memory of standing in the queue line for the Pegasus and watching some queue line TV that they had there. Maybe it's entirely wrong, maybe we were on a different ride, because memories can be wrong like that, but in my memory it's the Pegasus and it might be right. I wish they had an ice skating rink in this game. They do. Well, not officially, but there are custom rides that are ice skating rinks. Hang on. Okay, maybe it's a gentle ride? Yeah, there you go. Ice skating rink. And another one. Guest 2000. Are we scared of Y2K? Well, you've just entered the park 4 minutes ago and you just went on a science fiction coaster to extend your life. Well done. I think we'll get a penalty on this because we don't have a drop high enough. Who cares? It will still attract the same number of guests anyway. We have a 4.5 meter drop and I believe we need a 6 meter one to prevent getting a penalty. Okay, the path thing popping in the middle if you've got screens on either side is terrible. I gotta complain about that. In the park where there is harder guest generation, how far will advertising get me going? As far as you wish. No, really. Advertising is completely independent from any natural gas generation, and harder gas generation only impacts the natural gas generation. They're two entirely separate things. The natural gas generation looks at your soft gas cap, which is influenced by your rides and stalls that you have, and a bunch of other things, like do you charge, you know, is your entry fee not too high, and what your park rating is. what harder guest generation changes is how the soft guest cap is calculated. So, normally, it just adds up everything. You know, your spinning wild mouse will give 55, a looping coaster gives 95, flat rides give like 30 to 50 on average, depends per ride. A corkscrew will give 100, the maze gives 40. You know, there are a bunch that I know by heart. Merry-go-round, 35? I don't know. Something like that, anyway. Wooden is quite good at 105. Only 2 coasters are better. The Giga and the Twister with 120. Anyway, everything is added together. And that number right now is 2,317 in this park. And that means that as long as your guest number, including the guests that are walking towards the park, is lower than that, your guest spawning rate is unaffected. Now, if it is higher than that, which it will be in about 300 guests time if I don't build anything else, then your guest generation rate will be divided by 4. That's under normal circumstances. Now, if harder guest generation is enabled, 2 things will change. First, the way that the soft guest cap is calculated will change. It starts doing it normally. So, 2317. But, then it caps that at 1,000. So, we're at 1,000. Then it goes through all the rides in the park again. And it sees which one have both a length of over 600 meters, like this wooden coaster with 852, and an excitement rating over 6. So, this wooden coaster with 7.46. Then it adds those to whatever you got previously, twice. So, we calculate the soft guest cap here, 2317. That's capped to 1,000, so we're at 1,000. And then it's like, alright, I see that wooden coaster. It got both over 6 excitement and over 600 meters of length. So I'm going to add it to the 1,000 you already had twice. So we get 2 times 105, which is 210. So we're at 1,210. Let's see, this one... yeah, counts as well. 2 times 95, 190, so we're at 1,400. This one does not count, because it's not exciting enough. I think that... there, yeah... maybe this one? No, it's not even half the length. So that means we're at 1,400 soft guest cap in harder guest generation. Quite a bit lower than the 2317 we're at right now. It doesn't have to be a coaster, by the way, but this dinghy's light is not long enough and not exciting enough. But it could count if it was. Now there's another effect that harder guest generation has. First off, with normal guest generation, if you have more guests in the park than the soft guest cap, your guest spawning rate gets divided by 4. Harder guest generation, it gets divided by 16. Or technically it gets divided by 4 twice. Same effect. And if you have 150 more than the soft guest cap in your park, when harder guest generation is on, your guest generation is 0. Not divided by anything, just 0. So if you're perfect at keeping the guests in the park, then eventually you'll get as many guests as you want under normal circumstances. But with harder guest generation, you can't. It's literally impossible. Now, advertising ignores everything, basically. Advertising does not care about your soft guest cap, or what you charge for the entrance, whether that's too much or not, or anything like that. Advertising is just like, hey, if you do this ad, we will spawn on average this many guests per minute. As long as the ad runs for. And that for every ad, that's a different number. And whatever else doesn't matter. I mean, some ads are dependent a little bit. You know, if you advertise free, you know, tickets for free entry to the park, but you charge nothing, then that one will be 8 times less effective. Because you're kind of scamming people. But anything else doesn't matter for that. That kind of means that advertising is super overpowered. And to get the maximum gas generation possible, you need to first off not charge too much, have enough have a high enough soft gas cap, have a park rating of 850 or higher. That is kind of maxed out the default gas generation. Then you need to have 4 positive awards active. Currently I only have 1. Every multiplied by 1.25, which is cumulative, so 1.25 times 1.25 times 1.25 times 1.25, for a total of times 2.56. Which is quite significant. You know, 2.5 times higher gas generation. That's your natural gas generation maxed out, and then you just need to run all advertisements. And if you do that all, then it is possible to get over, to get 5,000 guests roughly in 1 year. Which is a lot, isn't it? Look at that, we just got our 2nd award. Oh, but the previous one ran out. They ran out after 5 months. The way that the guest spawning works, by the way... Oh yeah, it's slower after 7k guests, I forgot. I had in my mind, I think there's something else that I'm missing. Yeah, it's that one. It doesn't come up too often, because 7k is quite a lot. But yeah, after 7,000 guests, your natural guest generation gets divided in 4 again. Just as by default, you can't prevent that. I say again, but if you've got nothing else going on, then it's not again, then just the first time. That's also why advertising is so strong if you want if you want more guests. Also, lol, they can't find the exit. Is the soft guest cap for visitors the reason why you had to build multiples of the same right next to each other? Yes. You see, I can't advertise in this park. We've been at this stream for 2 hours and 20 minutes, and I would like to beat it not too long from now. So I wanted to keep the guest generation high, which is why I wanted to increase the soft guest cap quite a bit. Right now it's 24.39, so we need just a little bit more. If someone enters the park with a coupon for X, do they try to get to X the first thing they do when entering the park? Yes. Well, not with food, but with a ride, yes. Just got the wooden twister coaster. Interesting. Let's build a fat one. I did recently max guests in empty airfield and open RST2. Ended up with 16k. That's quite a lot. Was that inspired by my runs that I did in that video where I apologized to Chatty Bud? Because I kind of couldn't be arsed to do an open RST2 run. That's not true. I started an open RST2 run there, but halfway realized I royally messed it up and the entire run was gone. You know, invalid, it would mess up later. And I was like, I can't be asked to try to do this again for this video. Now that is a big woody. Would it help the economy to make them ride the ride that is the most distance from the entry? In essence, making them take a long walk back. If they can't find it after a certain time, they stop heading for it. But I'm very much not an expert on pathfinding and stuff. That's one of my weak spots. I kind of learned a little bit about it for the video this week, but not that much. You're doing Inca Lost City. Reminds me. What is the goal? 1500 guests, but you cannot let your park rating drop below 700. Ah, that one. Inca Lost City, which has an Aztec temple in it, which makes no sense, but... Yep. And has harder guest generation, does it? Well, assuming I managed to keep this wooden coaster's intensity under 10, which I'm not sure. But if I do, then this one will definitely count. We do get no extra intensity from these trains. Okay, that's useful. I love the sound of a wooden coaster that goes very fast. It's actually not that long. I mean, it goes very fast, so... And I kind of sped through the chain lift. It does take probably like 2.5, 3 minutes because of the massive chain lift. But after the chain lift, it's quite a short ride. And there we go, great stats. Only 1 minute 52. 7.32 excitement, 9.47 intensity, 5.16 nausea. I have the impression that the game logic that decides what mechanic is going to be called does not take into consideration the territory definition, leading to problems. It should. In my experience, it always does. Keep in mind that the exit of a ride also has to be within the territory that you give them. Otherwise they can't enter it. I remember him making that mistake. Have you ever done a roller coaster that was, for example, 7.56 got excitement, intensity, and nausea? Not 7.56, but yeah. that idea, you know. In fact, I hosted a game called Build Those Stats on a Discord server before I started mine. Where I gave a set of stats for the intensity, excitement and nausea. And it was your task to build a roller coaster with the... or any ride, I guess. With those stats. And I'm not sure if I was the first to ever do it. But at least in that community, I was the first to try it. In fact, someone challenged me to build a ride with 9.99 in every stat. Took me like 4 hours. But I managed to do it eventually. And that's... then I started expanding on that. I've built a ride with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That was very difficult. Getting the excitement low enough. I've built a ride with the opposite. 9, 7, like 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That was very easy. The one where it's 1, 2, 9, that took me like probably like 3 or 4 hours. And the opposite one took me 10 minutes. I've done 5 in every stat, like just 5.00. I've made one with 7.77 in every stat. I made one with 4.20 in 7 stats. In fact, the 7.77 also had 7.77 in 7 stats. You know, including a bunch of these. Well, that's 7 in 7 stats, not 7.77. What else have I done? I've done 6.66 in all these 3 stats. There's a video of that on YouTube called the 666 subscriber special. Yeah, I made that years ago, like 5.5 years ago. What else have I? I mean, I've done a whole bunch of random ones for the Build Those Stats minigame, of course. You know, Waluigi, if you get intensity and nausea the same and excitement a little bit lower, then you've got them all 3 the same, because you can just increase your excitement rating by building scenery or paths or, you know, something like that. So that's what I always shoot for when building the rides. I always make sure that the excitement is a little bit lower than whatever I need, and then balance the intensity and nausea rating. Okay, I've almost completed the scenario, and after that we can take a look at some of the rides I was just talking about. Oh yeah, I've also made a pie coaster that had 3.14, then 1.59 and 2.65. 3.14159265. The first 3 and then the first 8 digits of pi. There is no difference between medium and high Xmog. That's just the words medium and high are just there for you. They don't have any impact on anything. You know, if the intensity rating is over 10, it's a problem. But it only turns from very high to extreme at 10.24. Even though there's nothing else that happens at 10.24. Okay, let's see. You know, the thing is, OpenRCT2 over time has slightly changed the way the stats are calculated. So, some of these coasters I will show you may not be entirely right anymore. Especially the excitement rating with how, you know, scenery bonuses and stuff work. Oh god. I don't remember what I called my roller coaster with 9.99 in every stat. I don't know if I'll be able to find it. Oh, never mind. Okay, 9.98 excitement. Well, 9.99, there you go. 9.99 in all stats. And I did this by using a little airtime to get a lot of nausea. 93.93 seconds. I have the lucky coaster for you, which is right here. This thing, a 7 with a 4-leaved clover on top, has 7 stats. 7.77 excitement, 7.77 intensity, 7.77 nausea, top speed of 77 kilometers per hour, ride time of 77 minutes and 7 seconds, ride length of 7,777 meters and 7 drops. Now that's a ride. And right now it is here traveling at 1 kilometers an hour. It's a bit slow. How? Well, 7 drops is fairly easy. Because you just built 7 drops. Maximum speed of 77 is also easy. Because you just make it reach 77 once and then just don't go above that anymore. Ride time you can easily influence by putting some like chain lift or brake somewhere near the end. And you just need to get it close and then you can alter it without altering any other stats. Because if at the end you don't have any high forces, anything like that, then you will only alter the ride time. So you can alter the ride time without altering anything else. And the same kind of goes for the ride length. You first get the ride length right by, adding a few extra S-bends and that kind of stuff. Like I've done here. And then after that, you get the right time right. And then, intensity and nausea, you kind of change by altering the air time. You first get the intensity right. Then you alter the air time because that changes the nausea. That's how you do that. And then you just make sure that excitement is a little bit lower than whatever you need. And then you increase the excitement with some flowers, like I did here. There's some breaks here that were important. I remember altering those a lot. And then the shape is kind of, you just first build the outline and then just kind of fill it in. Shape was not the most difficult thing. Where's my... I think it was called like the Devil's Coaster. The one with 6.66. I think that one will have wrong stats now. I think I might have not finished it. I have 3 of these. I think one of these might not be finished. This one I never got the excitement to where it needs to be. But yeah, you can see the other 2 being the same. Let's see the other versions. Version 2. Oh, that one's decorated. Okay, that one's got too high of an excitement rating. But you get the idea. And what's the other one? Let's see. That one's unfinished again. Not even tested. Alright, let's have a look at... Oh yeah, 1.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, not 10, just 1.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This one was a total bitch. It was an absolute massive bitch. Okay, it's not quite 1, 2, 3, so... Let's get there. Is it opened? Well, it's tested, so... Yeah, that's the same thing. Okay, 1.21. 1.22. It's not increasing very fast, and there's a good reason for that. Okay, I think that's the maximum we can get. We already kind of got the maximum for bath and stuff. Okay, what if we do a little bit more water? There we go. 1, 2, 3. That works. So, how does this thing all work? Oh, this one took a lot of hours. I don't think quite 7, but like, I don't know, probably like 3 or 4. How on earth did I get such a low nausea rating, such a low excitement rating for the nausea rating? Well, you may have noticed that this is a multi-dimension coaster. And the multi-dimension coaster has a very peculiar stat penalty. If it doesn't have at least one inversion, its excitement gets divided by 4, I think. But the other stats are untouched. So that was a way to get the excitement very low. So I used that. It has no inversions, this thing. And it also has a naturally high nausea rating. It also has no drops, because it fills another stat requirement of having no drops, something like that. Because it only goes down with helixes. And I just made it very long, added a lot of helixes to get a lot of nausea. And eventually, I got there. But making the excitement low enough was a massive pain. Because even with the stat penalty of this, you see I have incredibly low G-forces, no drops, no highest drop height, low maximum speed, all to keep the excitement rating as low as I possibly could. And the airtime does not increase excitement on this coaster type, because over the shoulder harnesses, it only does that when you have lap bars. The other one, all the way around from 9 to 1, was piss easy. It's just a giga coaster with a bunch of hills. Okay, it's not quite the same, but, I can easily make it whatever we need. A little bit of water, or a little bit of path. There we go. Nearly there. Okay, yeah, that doesn't do anything. How about a little head chopper element? Why does that not do anything? Oh, it's way too high now. Ah! Oh, well, one doesn't do anything, but the other does a lot. Well, that's kind of weird. Don't worry, we can just remove remove stuff. To get it to 9.87. I go 989. Ah, too low. There we go, 987. 654. 3, 2, 1. Woo! Alright, let's drink some water. Wait, name a ride of your choice. I completely missed that. Hang on. What did you want to name the ride? Name Wooden Coaster 1 Hunebed Skater. I'm sorry I missed that. I'll see if I can get your points refunded. I had trouble doing that last time. But I figured it out eventually. I can also just still do that. Yeah, hang on. Let's just do that. Wait, other one. Hunebed Skater. Okay, next is the Python. Or rather, Python. This is a coaster in the shape of pi with, well, not right now, but if we add a little bit of scenery, stats that are pi. There we go, 3.14. Ah, crap, it's too high now. 3.14. So, 3.14159265. It's in the shape of pi, it has stats that are pi. It only works from this angle. I mean, kind of still works, but it's not as neat from other angles. But from this angle, it's all exactly in the shape of a pie. And I'm very proud of this one. It took a long time to get right. It abuses stat penalties to get the stats low enough. You know, otherwise you definitely can't get them low enough. A lot of helixes just to kind of fill everything in to make it look aesthetically nice. And yeah, a lot of fiddling. You know, you see some very select things that I also did to get more nausea and stuff. That's what these things above that they add, like nausea and intensity. These blocks above the track. It's kind of complicated. I forget kind of how it exactly works because I don't do it anymore. But that's the Python. So yeah, I've done that a lot. I've made coasters with specific stats a lot. And you know what it did? It really made me understand how coasters' stats work. What influences what? How can you alter certain things? It just gives you such a deep understanding. I did it back in like 2017, 2018 a lot. So it's years ago. I also want to show you Snoop Dogg the ride. No, it's not here. So just called 420 then. Yeah. So what's that? 406. Does it mean all these excitement ratings are way too low? That means that since the time I built this, OpenRCT2 must really have changed their like algorithm quite a bit. Oh, I know why. It's because of this bonus. That makes more sense. It's kind of complicated how that works. Let's see, let's add some head choppers. Okay. Yeah, we already got some head choppers. Oh, hang on, that's got changed too. 4.21. There we go. 4.20. So, this ride, they have a backup of these files, yes. I do. This ride has 4.20 in 7 different stats. 4.20 excitement, 4.20 intensity, 4.20 nausea, ride time 4 minutes and 20 seconds, ride length of 1,420 meters, 4.20 maximum positive Gs, and 4.20 seconds of airtime. Now this was a bitch to get right. Imagine balancing the bloody length time and ride length, and also while also doing the airtime. Like, the positive vertical Gs is easy, you know. You reach them right here after the first big long drop, and then you just never get that high again. That's easy, yeah. A little bit of fiddling once, but then you never have to worry about it again. The other stuff, well, you know, while also balancing the intensity and nausea. This one was a lot more difficult than the Lucky Coaster. Even though it's still, you know, the same stat in 7 different stats. This one was a bitch. I also did this one before the Lucky Coaster, so maybe by the time I did the Lucky Coaster, I just gotten better at it. But yeah, this it's not in any particular shape, but some people have said it kind of looks like a bong to them, which I don't really see. But then again, I've never seen a bong in real life, so who knows? But yeah, I'm proud of this one. Is it on purpose that all the coasters that you showed needed some adjustment after you loaded the save file? No, it's because the OpenRCT2 changed at some point the way that the bonus for head chopping paths and path below coasters is calculated. What it is that in Roller Coaster Tycoon 1, you had 2 separate bonuses for path under a ride. One for normal path and one for a queue line. And the same goes for head chopper pieces. The that got incorrectly ported to Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, and then started working differently. Instead of it being split between path and queue, it was split between the path in the first slot and every other path type, and also queue in the first slot and every other queue. So you would have path in the first slot and queue in the first slot for one bonus, and then all the other path types and all the other queue line types for the other bonus. Which is why you can see me here having a lot of brown path and one bit of black path. And that's also why here it was black path and brown path. But, I don't know, like 2 years ago or something, OpenRCT2 decided to fix that glitch, that bug, and change it to the way that it worked in RCT 1 Vanilla. Which means that I lost the double bonus here, and I had to replace one of the path types with queue line. And that's why they're a lot lower. I mean, the other things kind of slightly changed as well, but that's mostly, you know, things like scenery bonuses, they might have ever so slightly changed, but you know, then you might be 100th out instead of like the 2/10 I was out here. But that's why that's changed so much, and why I had to alter that. But yeah, in general, it doesn't change very much. So that is also 420 guests. Oh yeah, of course I did that. So that was this park. I want to thank you very much for watching this stream, for watching me build this park, and I hope you also enjoyed me showing off some of the interesting coasters I built with interesting stats. I'm gonna see who I can rate. Not many people streaming Roller Coaster Tycoon. Well, quite a few actually, but no one I follow. How about we rate the Mahou Bunny? Tell her hello from me. She's playing Roller Coaster Tycoon 1. Seems to be a fun stream. And, you know, make some noise when you get there. Yell raid or whatever. We have a raid message, right? Does that work? I don't know how that works. Nightbot has it. Anyway. A raid message. Yeah, it doesn't really work because Nightbot doesn't have mod. Or doesn't have subscription. If I make it VIP, that should work. I should make Nightbot VIP. That might work. Anyway. Have fun at the Mahou Bunny stream. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.